Hello everyone, welcome to today's tutorial. Today our topic is a complete beginner's guide to ArcGIS Desktop Part 2. In my previous video, I talked about complete beginner's guide to ArcGIS Desktop Part 1, where I clearly demonstrated how to use ArcGIS Desktop to carry out certain analysis or to perform certain operations. If you have not watched the video, kindly look at the description part of this video to watch it. So let's get started. As I indicated, today's topic is Complete Beginner's Guide to ArcGIS Desktop Part 2. I'm building on the foundation that I've laid on the Part 1 ArcGIS Desktop Beginner's Guide Part 1. So in this Part 2, I'm going to clearly talk about how to add basemaps to our ArcGIS desktop, how to carry out calculations of geometrical properties, that is length, area, perimeter, and so on. I will also talk about projections, that is the conversion or projecting from coordinate system to UTM. I also talk about digitizing and creating your own shapefiles from basemaps. I also touch on ArcGIS Online, how to get data or information from ArcGIS Online. And then I will also talk about how to export vector data as SSH shapefiles. And finally, how to export vector data into Google Earth. So this is what this complete guide to ArcGIS Part 2 will entail. So let's get started. As I indicated, our first part is adding a base map to ArcGIS Desktop. So before that, we have to know what a base map is. A base map provides a background or visual context for the data in a map. ArcGIS includes several types of base maps that you can use in ArcGIS for Office, including aerial imagery, terrain, streets, and topographic data. The default basemap display on a map is determined by your ArcGIS administrator. So ArcGIS basemaps are very important because we can use them as a reference point when we are trying to have access to certain information. So let's get started. So to add a base map to your map, you can go to File and come to Add Data and then Add Base Maps. So before you're able to use base map, you should be connected to internet. This means that your computer should be connected to what? Internet. And internet connection should be strong. If not that, this add base map will not be enabled. So just click on it. As I indicated, these are the various base maps you can add. Imagery. We have imagery with labels, has trees, topographic, dark gray canvas, light gray canvas, National Geographic, terrain with labels, oceans, and open street map. So depending the level of your internet connectivity, you can use any of these imageries as base maps. So imagery with labels, trees, topography, some of them use a lot of data, and because of that, your internet connectivity should be very high to be able to display these base map, especially the imagery with labels and so on. So for the purpose of the demonstration of this tutorial, I'm going to use OpenStreetMap. So click on it and again click Add. The OpenStreetMap is easier or it's faster to load on your ArcGIS desktop because it needs some little bit of internet connectivity, or if the internet connectivity is not all that high, you can still use it. So the base map has been added. So the base map, you can't zoom in and zoom out by using these tools. Zoom in tool, you can click on it and then draw a portion that you want to zoom out. Click on it and drag. So that's zoom in. So to zoom out, you click on it and draw a rectangle, or draw, click and draw. See, you are zooming out. You can also use the scroll wheel of your mouse to either zoom in or zoom out, zoom in or zoom out. And you can also, if you want to full extent, zoom into the full extent of the map. But for this is the extent of all data in active data frame to customer. So when you click on it, see how it is. Let me. Then you can zoom in using zoom to layer. So this is a Ashanti boundary that I have overlaid on the base map. That is these are the roads network and so on. So with this, assuming that I want to split this polygon, I can use a tool in the editing bar to split this polygon into two portions or three parts or four parts. I can use it to partition this polygon. So with this, you can just turn on your editor tool. You can right click on any empty space here. You go to editor. My editor is already turned on. You can turn it off from here. You can turn it on from here. And this is the editor. You can start editing. Choose the layer you want to edit. And with this, you have to select the feature that you want to cut. So I've selected it, and then you come here, cut polygon to split one or more selected polygons based on a line you draw. So you can click on it. So if I want to divide it into two portions from here, so with this, I have divided this polygon into two parts, and you can save your edit from here, save edit, and then stop editing. So when you go to the Ashanti, the attribute table, you see the polygon has been split into two. That is, I've selected one, and this is the other one. So the polygon has been divided. So you can add more details to, assuming that this I have highlighted is polygon A and this is polygon B. You can't indicate that on the attribute table, so you can add a field to it. So maybe description, then I'll have to make it text. It's too long. You can say yes, and then you can start your editing. Edit features, start editing. Then you can name it A and then B, and then you can save edit and stop edit. So we have divided a polygon into two portions. We've added a fold, and then we have named them A and B. So basically that is how to cut polygon using the cut tool in the editor. So when this is done, we can also do calculations, that is geometrical calculations such as area, length, perimeter, and so on. So but before you carry out calculation of these geometrical properties, you need to project your data. This data is already in geographic coordinate system, so you can go to properties, source, you see the data, geographic coordinate system, GCS_WS 1984, which is a geographic coordinate system. It is not projected. If this data is not projected, you cannot calculate area and perimeter. So it is important for you to project it into a particular UTM, that Universal Traverse Mercator. You know, this world has been divided into zones. Depending the country or the area that you are coming from, you belong to a particular zone. So with this, to project this data, you can Google it to see the town, to see the zone in which you belong to. But I will use Google Earth to find out which area I belong to. So you can just type the area you are. So I am at UTM 30 north, zone 30 north. But if here it doesn't show, it shows latitude and longitude, you can come here and change it. Come to tools, options, and the other you can change it to decimal degrees or invert traverse Mercator. If you change it to decimal degrees, it will be like this, latitude and longitude. It changes. But if you want it to be in UTM, you come to tools, options, and then Universal Traverse Mercator, then apply. So here it clearly indicates 30 north. So that is the UTM zone of Ghana, 30 north. So you can go to your ArcGIS, and then you can have access to the tool through two main methods. I indicated that in my beginner's guide to ArcGIS Desktop part 1. But you can either use the search tool, where you can just type project and click enter. Project data management. So this is a tool, project data management. So the tool is in project project spatial data from one coordinate system. So it is in data management. It's a data management tool. You can click here to have access to the tool. That is a tool. Or you can just close and come to Arc toolbox, double click on it, and you come to data management tools. You come to projections and transformations, and then you have define projection and then project. You double click on the project. So which data are we projecting? We are projecting the Ashanti boundary. So you can't save the particular place that you want to save this, and then you can't save it, and you can also change the projected coordinate system from this dialog. Go to projected coordinate system, go to UTM, go to WGS 1984 Northern Hemisphere, and then this is it, 1984 complete UTM zone 30 knot. Click OK. In there, OK. So this is the projected coordinates, is Ashanti underscore UTM underscore zone underscore 30 knot. I have projected this to UTM zone 30 knot. So let's project the rows as well. Project rows, projected UTM Northern Hemisphere. That's project Traverse Makata Complex. Okay. 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 The rows has also been projected. UTM zone 30 knot. So our data has now been projected to UTM zone 30. So now let's calculate our geometrical properties like area, perimeter, and so on. So with this, open the attribute table of the Ashanti boundary layer. So let's add field. Let's name it area, and then let's change the data type to double. Okay. You can now start editing. And click on area, right click, click on calculate geometry. You see the area has now been enabled. You can pick area, perimeter. Now let's pick area. You can change the units to whatever you want. Square kilometers. Okay. You see, we've calculated the area. The area of this has been what? Calculated. Now let's also calculate the, now you can save edit and stop edit. If you don't stop the editing, you cannot add fields. So you need to save and stop editing. So here is perimeter. Let's make it double as well. Okay. Then start editing. Click on perimeter. Calculate geometry. Perimeter. Can select the units in which you want the calculation to be done. Kilometers. Perimeter has also been calculated, so we can save edit. Stop editing. We can also calculate x coordinate of centroid and the y coordinates of centroid. So you can add another field, x coordinate and centroid. So the centroid. Double click on it, geometry. Yes. X coordinates of centroid has also been calculated. Then y coordinates of centroid. Add field. Y coordinate and centroid. Double click on it, double click, geometry. Yes. Meters. Yes, that is it. So with this we are able to calculate area, perimeter, x coordinate of centroid and y coordinate of centroid. So we're able to calculate all this. So you can save your edits and so on. So now let's try to calculate length of this road. Calculate the length. So with this you follow same processes and procedures. Open the attribute table, add a field. Yes, length, and then double. Okay, highlight it, calculate. Yes, you see you can calculate length, x coordinates of line start, y coordinates of line start, and the x coordinate of midpoint, y coordinate of midpoint. So length, meters. See, I've calculated everything. Length, that is the length of the roads. So if you want to calculate x coordinates of midpoints, y coordinates midpoints, you can just add another field. maybe X midpoint, double. You can start editing to prevent that pop-up message. You've seen geometry, X coordinate of midpoint, the meters, okay, because I have selected this, that's why it has done only the calculation of this. So don't select a particular, deselect this and then calculate it again. Yeah, I've calculated X midpoints, X coordinates of midpoints. And then similarly, save edit before you can add field. Stop edit, then add another field, Y midpoint, and then double. Okay, so you can start editing. Click on this, right click, calculate geometry, Y coding of mid. Does it? I've also done those calculations. Those calculations has also been done. So you can just do that to calculate anything you want based on what the options that are available to you. Save edit and stop edit. So you can close this, and that is it. You can deselect this, deselect it. Let's find only let's see only the base map. So our next part of this video is going to be digitizing and creating your own shapefiles. So maybe there are features on this map that you want to extract them to be used to perform your analysis, like geometrical calculations that we have done, area, length, perimeters, and so on. If the data is not in shapefile, you cannot carry out those geometrical calculations. So for now, I want to extract certain features from these base maps so that I can perform those geometrical computations that I have done. So on this base map, I'm going to digitize roads that are going to be in points, then buildings that are going to be in polygons, and then roads which are going to be what, in polylines. So when you want to start your digitizing, first of all, you need to navigate to the folder in which you want to create the digitizing items or inputs. So with this, you can just go to your folder. I want it to be here. Right click on the folder, go to new, and you see shapefile. Click on it. Shapefile, as I said, first I want to digitize buildings. So the feature type is a polygon, and this you can change the projection so that there's no need to do any coordinate transformation when you want to calculate your geometrical properties. Go to projected coordinate system, go to UTM, WGS 1984, Northern Hemisphere, and this. Click OK. That's it. Okay. So now we can navigate to the buildings that we are interested in. You can zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. You can zoom in. Okay. So these are the buildings that I want to digitize. These buildings. It's just for purpose of demonstration. So go to your buildings, right click on it, go to edit features and start editing. And then come here, create features, click on it. Why has this one become big like that? So click on the building and then choose polygon. Then click the ends. So that's one. That's two. Three. 4. This is just a purpose of demonstration. So take time and digitize it very well. So when you are done, you save edit and you stop edit. So now let's create other features. I want to create some rows. Right click on this, new, go to shape file. Here is going to be roads. Then polyline, projection, UTM, WGS 84, Northern Hemisphere, then WGS 1984, complex UTM zone 30 north. Okay. Okay. Start editing. Then click on this, click on road, click on line. This one. Two. So take time and digitize. This is just a demonstration. It's not well done. So just take time and do your digitizing. This is just a demonstration. Okay, save edit. It's enough. Then I want to add some points. Let me do another one. Shift first. Points. Point. Projected. Start editing. Create features. Point. Click on it. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. Save edit. And stop editing. So with this, you can add additional detail to what we have digitized on. So zoom, let me off this, leave. That's the rows that I have digitized. These are the points. And these are the buildings. So assuming that I want to add the name of the particular points, so you can just add field name. You can put text here. maybe 30. Okay, so you can start editing to be able to add the names. So maybe ADB be commercial bank, GT bank, Stanbic, ECOWAS. Then you can save, edit. So the names has already been kept there. So let's find out, assuming that I want to calculate the X and Y coordinates of this. Let's see how that one is done. So add field. You have to stop editing first. Then add field. X coordinate. Can start editing. Calculate X coordinate of point. Yes. Then let's calculate the Y coordinates. Stop editing. Add field. Y coordinate. Start editing. I have done the calculations on this. So now let's go to buildings properties. I want to add, save, edit, stop editing, add field, name of the building, text, $25. Start edit. A, B, C. Assume that's the name of the building. Save, edit, stop edit. The calculate area, double, calculate area, square meters, and that's it. So assuming that I want to calculate the perimeter, default perimeter, double, start editing, calculate geometry, then perimeter. Yes, I've calculated the area and perimeter. You can also calculate x coordinate of centroid and y coordinate of centroid through the same process. Can save your edit, stop editing. You can also calculate roads. You can add field and calculate the length of roads and so on. So you can use the same method to do your calculations. So now they have clearly demonstrated how to acquire some spatial data from basemaps through creation and digitizing of features to form shapefiles. So now let me show how to gather additional data from ArcGIS Online. So with this, you have to create an account with ArcGIS Online, and then you can connect it to the ArcGIS Desktop to be able to load data and export them into shapefiles and so on. So let's sign into ArcGIS Desktop. ArcGIS Desktop. ArcGIS Desktop. Forgotten my sign in login ID. This is my login ID. Copy this. Account to ArcGIS. Sign in. And then paste. Then put your password. Then click on it. You see, I've signed into ArcGIS Online. So with this, you can just type in whatever information that you needed. So Ghana vegetation. So let me, assuming that I'm interested in this, click on add. The base map is being the planet land cover classification layers are being added to the ArcGIS Desktop. So you should wait. It takes some time. The layers of land cover classification of Ghana has been added. Has been loaded. So let's export this to shapefiles. There are layers, so let's export to shapefiles. So right click on it and go to data, export. So we are exporting layers which are in the form of vector data to shapefiles. So it's gradually exporting it. So you have to wait because this contains enormous data information. So you have to take time. It has to take time before. So it has already been exported to shapefiles. So yes. The data is too heavy. Good. So now that is a shapefile. It has been exported to shapefile. Let's see the attribute table. So now that we have exported to shapefile, we can do important calculations to this area. Okay. I've calculated the areas. So you can calculate the perimeter and some other geometrical properties. So basically that's how to export vector data as ESRI shapefile. So the data is already in layers, then I've exported them to shapefiles, and based on this we can conduct geometrical calculations. You can even symbolize it the properties. We come to symbology, categories, class name, or can apply. See, that is basically the symbolizing it. So with this you can just create a quick map on this, put it on, or you right click and go to page setup, put it on portrait, can zoom to layer, can position it very well by using this corners of resizing. So that is it. So you can insert legend, put of arrow, can put scale, can add a title, maybe any name, cover classification. That's basically so. With this you can export it, desktop and a PDF or any format that you want. Show off down some selection. Okay, now the selection is gone. So let's export. So that is it. You can also save it in JPEG image or any format that you want. Come to data view. So that is how to quickly make a very simple map. So the data was obtained from the ArcGIS Online. I exported in shapefiles, and then I've symbolized the data, and then I have composed a very beautiful map. So throughout this video, we learn how to add base maps to ArcGIS Desktop, how to digitize features on the base maps, how to add or calculate geometrical properties from our digitized features. This is the end of the ArcGIS Desktop part 2. The next lesson will be ArcGIS Desktop part 3 for beginners. Thank you very much. All the best. Bye.